on board ships for their one-year shipboard training. As I said, this problem has been recurring, and hopefully together we will work to reduce the challenges that must be worked out. But as you all know, these challenges are not only focused on maritime education and training. We also have to talk of the periphery, of you who are outside of the shipping industry, strictly outside of the shipping industry. As I mentioned earlier, the maritime education and training sector, as well as our government, and even the seafarers, along with their families, like you, can jointly pitch in to propel the maritime industry towards the right protection, towards the right direction. In his World Seafarers Day message, the IMO Secretary General, Ephemios Mitropoulos, rallied all members of the shipping industry to contribute to the concerted efforts of addressing the various challenges in the maritime industry today. I shall echo some of the important points made by the Secretary General as I exhort all members of the seafaring family to make bold moves for the protection and promotion of seafaring in our country. Let me quote, "I call on all members of the shipping industry to maintain high standards, to institutionalize best practices, to embrace corporate social responsibility, and to provide a clean, safe, and comfortable workplace for our seafarers. I call on flag state legislators, those in government, and other government agencies to work toward the ratification, adoption, and implementation of all international measures that will ensure the safety and security of seafarers on the job, as well as their living and working conditions." You have heard from our guest speaker, guest of honor yesterday, that the Seafarers ID hopefully will be worked on soon enough, and of course, hopefully we'll be able to ratify the Maritime Labor Convention of 2006. She said something like end of the year. We all certainly look forward to that, and we should do our best to help her work on it. Next, I call on all educators and trainers to improve the quality of training and education and assessments for all maritime students, to make them able, to make them competent, flexible, and adaptable to the demands of their careers. The task facing you is to ensure a suitable pool of seafarers, well-qualified and high-caliber seafarers who are adaptable to change and flexible to handle the wide range of tasks required of them. Next, I call on all seafarers to continue to upgrade and better themselves. The ratifications and impending implementation of the revised STCW Convention and Code may bring about changes and other competence requirements which you have to comply. However, the benefits that you will enjoy in the long run far outweigh the short-term inconveniences of added expenses and added time for training and skills development. And finally, I call on the families of seafarers and encourage them to be actively involved in promoting the maritime profession. So those are the words of none other than our Secretary General, the Secretary General himself of the International Maritime Organization. And you will see that he covered everybody, from the national government, to the employers, to the unions, and to the families. So let me expound on the families, since that is what we are all here for. It has always been said that seafaring is a difficult and a demanding job with its own set of unique pressures and risks. As families, you can cushion the effects of these difficulties and risks by showing your pride. Show your pride and honor for the achievements and contributions made by your seagoing fathers or mothers, brothers or sisters. Letters of encouragement and words of praise go a long way in motivating your seafarer to study harder, whether he's a student or already working, and to be more trustworthy in his job. You know, in school, we always advise our cadets and even graduates to be conscious, to be always conscious of their earnings. Sometimes they get carried away because they have a lot of money, but we keep on telling them that make sure that you have savings. And I've always espoused a project mentality. By project mentality, I mean that before a seafarer signs his contract, he must already have in his mind what he will do with some of the money. In other words, every time you sign a contract, you should already say that, hey, I'll probably start down payment on a lot, or I'll buy a motorcycle after this contract, or I'll buy a computer or a laptop that will help me. All those. These are tangible things that are an item that will serve as a reward for his efforts. And you, as members of the family, you receive an allotment from your seafarer. Make sure that you reserve some of it as savings and invest it wisely. Of course, you have to work on this together with your seafarer, whether he's your son or daughter or husband or wife. But be very wary of get-rich schemes. I've had many experiences of seafarers and even graduates who were victimized by schemes that says that you will double your money in 1 year. I always tell them, if somebody gives you an investment that is too good to be true, it's not really good to be true. So always be very careful of that. Always remember that after years of hard work and a long absence, your seafarer expects to come home to enjoy the fruits of his labor. A sailor is willing to face strong winds. He's willing to face rough seas if he knows that he has a strong anchor. And that anchor, ladies and gentlemen, is his family. That is you. It must always be kept united and strong and kept intact by sturdy bonds of relations with one another and, of course, always with God. In the Philippines, seafaring still suffers a very poor image in our society. They're often called seamen. And of course, you've heard the story of a father who had 3 children, and his eldest was bright. He said, "Oh, you're bright. Take up low." The second was industrious, so he said, "You're very industrious. You become an engineer." The third was lazy. He said, "Sige, mag-seaman ka na lang." And that's still true up to now. So, the seafarer is lumped into one word called seaman. And finally, a seafarer who is assured of the love of his family, who knows that his family appreciates all his sacrifices and is confident that he will come home to a happy, peaceful, healthy, harmonious family. He is going to be an inspired seafarer. He will work harder and continue to stay in the good graces of his company. In conclusion, I presented some challenges in maritime education and training. And I assure you that we have been bringing this up, we have been working together to bring up this problem to the government and to all concerned. And so that this morning, what I have given, I have glossed over the challenges to maritime education and training. What I have given are challenges to you, the family. And these are some challenges, but they are not insurmountable. If we work together, you, the families, the government, where's our speaker is not here yet, the employers with Admiral Donato will be speaking after me, and the unions, if we work together and with the grace of God, we will all overcome. Thank you, and I wish everyone a very, very good day.